Today's video is all about the top 5 items that I think that you should get if you're moving into a studio apartment. As someone who's lived in 2 studios in my lifetime, these are my tried and trues of things that just really helped when I was living in a tiny space. Starting off strong, a couch. I pulled 2 that I think are perfect for living in a studio. This first one is a 3-in-1 sleeper sofa. So I love having some sort of sleeper couch, just that way if you have people stay over, they have somewhere to be. And bonus points, if you're in your space and you just want to feel a little bit more cozy and loungy, you can set it up with the leg rest part coming out for yourself. And I just love having more options within my space. This one I think is super cute. It's for $269. They have the gray for $239, or they have pink too. As a actual couch, the dimensions of it is really small. So the actual footprint it takes up on your ground is really minimal, which is really nice. I like that it has these side pockets to be able to use for storage. It's very neutral and cute, but then you can fold it out into being a double bed, which is really nice. I feel like in a studio, you're not gonna have people staying over all the time, but for the occasions that you do, being able to have that pull out is perfect. And then a second one that I pulled is this couch, and this is so cute. This is a sleeper sofa, and this is exactly the same type of sofa that I had when I was living in a studio. This one is a little bit more expensive at $399, but this one's also a white boucle. Is that how you pronounce it? Boucle, like the type of material where it's like the white fuzzy, like that material. Oh, so cute, so cozy, I love it. This one's really cool because this couch is an L-shaped couch. So it is a little bit bigger than the last one, but it pulls out into being a full-size bed. Also super helpful if you have people stay over, the back bends down and everything. But the storage underneath that ottoman is clutch. Our couch had storage. I kept our Christmas tree in there, kept all of our guest bedding. There was just so much that I was able to store away in there. And when you're not using it, it's just a super cute, simple L-shaped couch. When you have guests over, it can be a bed, or you can grab your stuff out of it and have it be storage too. So multifunctional. We used ours for years. Ours came from Costco, but we bought it used off Facebook Marketplace, which honestly is a treasure mine if you're looking to move. All right, next item I want to talk about. I always had some sort of drop leaf table in any of my studio apartments. So that way I had a designated like workspace or eating space when I needed it, but in times when I wasn't using it, I could close that away really easily. So this one is cool. This one's like a little rolling cart, but it has a ton of storage in there. You can see they have like their cups and stuff in there. There's a little towel rack, and it folds out to be pretty big. Like you could probably squeeze 4 people around there. It'd be tight, but like you're in a studio. If you have 4 people in there, they know it's gonna be tight. They'll be understanding. But then when it's not being used, it folds up into just this little like bar. It's such a smaller footprint that it makes it so that way you can tuck that away somewhere, but then you have like a full dining table when you need it. I love stuff like that. Something with storage that you can get out of your way when you don't need it and then pull it out when you do, I think is absolutely genius. You can also just pop up just one of the sides if you wanted to, like they have here. So if you wanted to have a workspace, or if you were eating dinner by yourself, this is such an easy way to do it. That one is more of like a dedicated furniture piece. So if you are looking for something a little bit more minimal, I love this. I think this is so smart. I literally had basically this exact same thing when I lived in my first studio. This is a little mounted drop leaf table. So it takes up no freaking space. When it's down, they have no pictures of it dropped down, which is very silly. But when they drop it down, it's just flat up against your wall. It comes out like 2 inches. It takes up no space whatsoever. So if you don't have the space to have like a little table pop out all the time, you can drop it down and only lift it when you need it to. I loved it. I used mine all the time. I think it is so smart. I don't need my work desk behind me. I could have just one of those right here and it would work so well. So I highly recommend, if you don't want to have like the full furniture piece with the storage, get one of these. It is so worth it. I loved mine. Oh, okay. In the neutral color, they have a picture of it with it dropped down. Genius! Look at how tiny that is. When living in a studio, you need to just be aware of like the square footage and the footprint of each furniture item because you only have so many square feet to give. This takes up none, and you get a full table. I love it. Next up, a rolling kitchen island. I have lived in a studio with legitimately the smallest kitchen that I've ever seen in a studio ever, and I had absolutely 0 storage. It was ridiculous. I didn't have anywhere to put literally plates or bowls or anything. Like it was so small. And so I got one of these rolling kitchen islands. Not only did it turn my galley kitchen, where my kitchen is just on one wall, into feeling like a full proper kitchen with a kitchen island, but having the extra counter space to be able to chop on was perfect. The drawers for like spices or anything that I need to put in there, cabinet space, So good. Plus mine also did have like this towel rack and then a spice rack on the other side. I think mine also had a paper towel holder, which was really cool. It was so good. What I love about the fact that it's rolling is you can lock those wheels in place so it doesn't roll around. But then if I ever had friends over, I'd roll that over into like our living room area to put like snacks and stuff on. So I love something multifunctional. I also used mine as my desk. I used to teach English online to kids in China, and I would roll that in front of my like workspace so that way I could have my computer resting on it and have it as my backdrop. You can use it in so many different ways. It makes so much sense. This one's $160, but there's a $10 off coupon. And this one does have the storage underneath, which I love. But I wanted to pull a couple other a little bit less expensive items too. So this one is $107, but there's a $10 off coupon too. This one's not as big, it's a little bit smaller. This does miss out on having that lip on the edge. So this one, you couldn't pull a kitchen bar stool underneath it, which I really liked about the other one. This one, see how there's like the lip, you could pull your seat up to it, but all the same, it's not like the end of the world kind of thing. This one is a lot smaller and it still has really great storage with like the spice rack and the towel holder and everything, so still a really, really good option. And then if your space is really, really small and you're really balling on a budget, then this one is a really great option too. There's also a million and one of these at IKEA and stuff, so you could get something like this from literally anywhere. If you have a really tiny kitchen and you need a little bit more storage, something just like this is great because you could put all of your snacks in there and all of your utensils and all of your mugs. It's just a small footprint that gives you a lot more storage than your cabinets might be giving you. And again, I love that it rolls. You could put your like dinner or cup of tea or glass of wine or whatever on there and like roll it over to your TV when you're watching shows at the end of the day. It just makes it so that way it's not stuck being a piece of kitchen furniture. You can use it for so much more. All right, number 4 on my list, and this one I didn't pull a ton of different options of it because like if you get one, you get them all. But this is a bed frame, and I really, really, truly to my core believe that if you are living in a studio apartment, you need to get a bed frame that is at least 18 inches tall. This is higher than what your average bed is, and it makes it so that way you have so much more storage under your bed. Having storage under your bed is key because that is where you're gonna be able to put like your suitcases. We used to store golf clubs under there. Your out of season clothes, because your closet is probably not gonna be big enough to hold your winter clothes and your summer clothes, so you can put your out of season clothes under your bed. I still do that today, and I don't know how I could make my closet work without it. Get yourself a metal bed frame, 18 inches or above. I used to do a bed skirt around the bottom of mine, so that way it was all hidden. If it doesn't bother you, you don't need to, but just being able to have somewhere to tuck all of that stuff away is so good. You could put your vacuum down there. That's always one that's like hard to find a place for. But yeah, I've seen bed frames as high as 24 inches. I think if you can find one, do it. But even an 18 inch, that is going to make a huge difference. That is going to give you so much more storage space than you would have had originally. And last up on my list, I think these are an absolute non-negotiable if you're living in a small space. You're going to need cabinet shelf organizers. These are like little shelves that you would put on top of your kitchen shelf already. So that way you don't have like a single layer of mugs. You can now do 2 layers of mugs because there's the secondary shelf on top of it. It just adds so much more space. Any sort of spices, cups, mugs, plates, bowls, anything that's not easily stackable, having something like this is so good. I used these in all of my apartments. I still use them today. And once you buy one set, you'll use them like for life. So something like this helps so much with being able to just add more stuff into storage. I also really love any sort of like under sink organizer, something to be able to add 2 layers under your sink, just because pipes and stuff can make it really difficult to do. So I love this one where it's a little bit smaller and off to the side, but these also pull out, which makes it so much more convenient. But something like that where you don't just have like clutter under your sink, but it's nicely organized and put away. And then last, which I wanted to throw in here, is command hooks. I used command hooks all over my apartment. I literally had them everywhere. I didn't have a bedside table, so I put command hooks next to my bed, and that's where I'd hang like my eye mask at night, or my phone is on like a strap, so I would hang that there at night. Command hooks all over my kitchen, so that way I could hang a pot holder or my cutting board. Command hooks next to the front door for coats, command hooks in the bathroom for towels. They were everywhere. In a studio, you want to be able to use as much vertical space as possible, so anything like that really makes such a big difference. All right guys, I hope that helped. I'm obsessed with functionality, and I really enjoyed being able to make such a small space feel so cozy and exciting. Studio apartments are not the enemy. They are the best. I honestly wish more big cities had more studio apartments because they're more affordable than being able to live in a 1-bed, especially when you're moving out for the first time. I highly recommend them. It is very easy to make it so it's still a space that you love. You do not need more square footage to have that. Comment down below which item was your favorite, or if you have a suggestion for someone living in a studio, share the wealth. We love to be able to hear what you guys think as well. If you are moving to Chicago and looking for a studio apartment or any apartment of any kind, I am always here to help. I run a team of agents with Compass. My link is in the description box. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.